Hello, Sonder family. Welcome to your Saturday eve. No, yes, it is Saturday evening weekly setup. I am so glad to welcome you. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator this evening as we just do our weekly setup. It's so good to see you all here. And I'll tell you, Katie is my co-pilot tonight. She's my co-facilitator. And Katie has already done a social today. She did that earlier in the day for us. She did journal prompts, and so you'll be able to find that. She popped on and gave y'all a wave. I don't know if you can see her or not, but you will be able to find the social that she led probably Monday or Tuesday. And it's on those journal prompts, which I love doing the journal prompts with the Sonder family. Otherwise I just sit and look at my pages and I'm not sure what to do. So I'm so glad to welcome you. I'm dialing in from the Dallas, Texas area. And I put my sticker pages at the front end of that deck. We've got these fabulous new monthly sticker sets that match the journal for the month with, for those of you who are colors. Now, I'm not a big sticker person, but I get it. These are pretty fabulous. And I've used some of the strips to cover words. So highly recommend. I use these vinyl stickers with my super fine Sharpie, and it is beautiful, and they are smooth, and they are fabulous. And then secondly, we've got this new sticker pack. It's like a little book, and it's got all kind of, like reminder stickers, so that you can remember, you can put little notations throughout your journal on things. And I am look, I'm trying to give you sort of an example. So Katie is going to share all of these links to your different sticker options at the end, but I wanted to make sure we had time to do it. And this is my Sharpie pen. It's like the permanent marker, and it's super fine point. It's a fine point, and I actually buy a box on Amazon when I get them. Now, you don't want to use them on your regular pages because they will bleed through, but another pen that Sharpie makes, this guy, this is my go-to for my journal. So that's all. I wish I could, get compensated. I don't. I'm just sharing what works for me. So, and Katie's already dropped those sticker links there. So you might want to check this out if you are a sticker person. And if you're not, just try it. Maybe you'll become I became a little bit of a sticker person through this. So we are here to set up for our next week, and I'm really glad you're here. I like Saturdays because it kind of helps me remember the stuff I didn't do all week, that I had down as my goals. I get to reflect on that, maybe have like one more day to do it. And I feel like I start the week, on solid footing. I'll be doing Monday mornings social setup, and then you'll be able to see Katie and me tomorrow morning, and Katie's going to lead that. So, but the Saturday one, I just feel like I get that step ahead. So I'm glad when that works out in my schedule. So there are community guidelines. We always put these up at our socials to remind one another that we are here to support each other, but also to take care of ourselves. No promotions or spam. We do respect privacy. What happens in Sonder Club stays in Sonder Club. And of course, never hate speech or bullying, and always be good to yourself. And if you happen to have any questions that Katie or myself are unable to to answer, we're going to point you to hello@silkandsonder.com. And that's our customer care team, and they're fabulous. And they're generally a Monday through Friday. Sometimes somebody might pop on the weekend. You may get an answer, but they do work Monday through Friday. We always laugh. They need to protect their boundaries too. So, but they'll be able to help you with any questions that Katie and myself might not be able to do. All right, so trust. Oh my goodness, this theme it's heavy, and I am laughing because I worked on my mind map today, and I was telling Katie I kind of sat, and then I started writing, and now I think I need to sit with a whole notes page to respond to this week's prompt, because once I started, it really started a lot of reflection in my soul. So we are going to be tackling trust, our week 2 mind map. So we'll start with that mind map. Now, if you're brand new, I know we have some new folks here. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. I always liken this to I used to be an avid walker and I walked at like 5 in the morning before work. And I had a friend, a neighbor who would come to the front door and wait on me. And because they showed up for me, I was able to engage and make sure that I held myself to that standard of accountability to walk every day, right? Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it myself. So I feel like these socials are like our accountability group. Some of you may already have your vibe. You know exactly what you're going to do in your journal tonight. Nothing's going to be new for you, but you are here because this is that accountability piece to make this tool that you are investing in work the very best in your life. So we're going to start with that mind map. Now, if you're brand new, I've got I'll show you what that looks like. Don't get lost, but that is a bonus for coming to these weekly setups. We do a little bit deeper dig into into that theme for the month through some different lenses. So I love that about our weekly setup. We're going to do a rosebud thorn reflection, and then we will have our weekly setup pages. And I'm also going to apologize. I don't know if y'all can hear the background here, but my 3 little grandkids are over here. We ate dinner for an early Mother's Day, and it is bath time. So my son and my husband are tackling 3. So I apologize if there's a little background sound, but it is joyful. So anyway, yes, Nathaniel, love those grands. So a mind map, again, like I said, it's a deeper dig into that month's theme. And boy, with trust, I find that once I start digging a little bit, I need to move from my spoon from digging and just go get the whole big old shovel to dig in, because it really begins to help me look back and reflect on who I am and how I'm wired and why I think the way I think. Because trust, that's from your family of origin, right? You learned as a child, and you took those patterns into your adulthood. So I'm really liking these deeper digs. So this mind map can be set up on a notes page. You can do it on your scratch pad and, for each week, answer the prompt week by week in that weekly spread. Some folks like to do it on their quote page. This month, I took a hint from our co-facilitator, Bailey. She says, I always do it on the last notes page because that way I can find it really easily. And you're going to have 4 different prompts for the 4 weeks this month. And we reveal a prompt each week at the weekly setup. So last week was thinking about, what does trust to forgive look like in our lives? And this week, week 2, is trust, and the lens is looking at strength. How does trust play into our strength as a human being? And so here is my page, how I've set my page up. I did it on a notes page this month. I've dropped a couple of quotes here that just spoke to me. You guys who have been with me know that I speak a lot about how much of a worrier I am. That is my albatross. That is the thing I'm always working on, to not overthink, not over worry, not, escalate into all the what ifs, but I'm wired that way, right? So these 2 quotes really spoke to me. I hope that maybe you'll find them helpful when I was looking at trust for strength. So sometimes insecurity finds herself getting real busy creating problems in places where problems don't actually exist. I hope some of you may be like, yeah, I get it. And then I love the next quote: never trust your fears. They don't know your strengths. And so when I think about strength for me and how trust plays in there. Yes, Katie, little Miss Insecurity has her megaphone. I wrote what I've written for this prompt, and again, I'm telling you, this was like my spoon digging in, and I could go get a shovel now and fill a whole notes page on strength. But I came up at, the first things that came to my head is trusting the process for whatever is going on in my life will lead to strength. Just trust that process. It's important for me to be patient. I am a little impatient. I am kind of a control freak, and I need to let things just kind of play out. It's important for me to set up plans for success and manage my expectations. Don't self-sabotage. Mayha's been doing a whole lot of work on that self-sabotaging, and I tend to maybe do that a little bit. Be confident and willing to step back, that pause that sometimes we forget to do, and examine the why, the root behind the things that are making me feel weak. Like, why do I feel weak? Not just, have these um spontaneous reactions, like really give myself that space to breathe and think about it. Fully trusting in myself makes me strong, and it helps my self-worth, and then I can easily see the worth in others. So again, man, and now I need to go write a book because it opened up a lot for me. So I'm going to play some music as you work on this, as you kind of, think about it. Now, if it feels tricky, it is okay to just stop. Sometimes these prompts feel a little bristly. I start looking at trust, and I have some trust issues, and it is because of family of origin. And so I need to make sure I'm in a good headspace when I tackle something like this. So give yourself that permission. Maybe just watch the chat and someone else will inspire, give you some ideas to frame it out so that you can look at this in a very positive way. But again, we're taking care of ourselves, or of our emotional selves. So let's put on some music and let's kind of dig in and take a look at how trust um, is important for the strength that you carry. And I'm looking forward to you sharing. I'll be back to check in with you in just a few moments. Okay, our time together is so limited. It goes so fast. So you might not quite be finished with thinking about this. Again, I think I need to kind of sit and re examine and dig a little bit deeper and kind of go into the whys. Why am I thinking that? Thank you for sharing as you were able in the chat. Again, we were writing, but I wanted to point out, let's see. Kim said, one of the favorite quotes is, "You've survived 100% of what you've been through." And I know that we really embraced that thought a couple of months ago with one of the things that we had that, up to this day, we have survived all the tough stuff. It might not have been fun, but we're here, right? And so there are lessons that we've learned along the way. It's made us stronger. Um, Chris asked, also added that, trust that those trials will lead to strength, and it doesn't ever feel good when we're in the middle of it, but it will definitely, we live and learn. And do we have all the right answers? Probably not. And it might not go the way we want, but we still learn along the way, and we learn to trust ourselves and remind ourselves that we're doing the best we can. So thank you for embracing week number 2 of our mind map. And we're going to move into our setup now. So, we love to do a little reminder that we are going to be hitting the very middle of the month this week on Wednesday. And so I always like to remind you, don't forget about that page 39, your currently page. Maybe it's kind of in the middle of the journal on purpose so that you can be reminded to do that check in with yourself. Do you need to maybe adjust some of the expectations that you set, a couple of weeks ago? Is something not working for you? It is okay to give yourself permission to go back and go, okay, this intention needs to be changed, or nothing on this habit wheel has gotten marked off with this particular habit. So I need to reframe that habit. I think those blank spaces give us a lot of information just as much as the spaces that are filled in. So remind yourself in the middle of the week to go take a look at the currently page. I'll also give you a hint. Yes, and Katie says, I was going to call that out, Katie. There's 3 lines, and so she uses that as kind of a weekly check-in. So week 1, what am I loving? Week 2, what am I loving? Week 3, what am I loving? And then we are finishing up the journal when we go and do those monthly reflections in the next journal. So she uses each one of those lines as a weekly check-in. So just wanted to shout out to that currently page and encourage you to set a date with yourself to spend a little time with that this month and embrace whatever May has brought your way. Now we're going to begin our evening together digging into the setup by looking at last week and how things went. And we do this through an exercise called Rose, Bud, and Thorn. And that can be found on page 36. And what we do is we take a look at the things, the highs and the lows of the week, and some of the emerging opportunities. So, of course, the thorn is the thing that wasn't much fun. Something didn't go right. Sometimes we live with a thorn. Um, eh, that sounded awful. Like my husband. No, kidding. But you may have a thorn that's just always there. It could be health related. Maybe you're a caregiver and those tough days just don't seem to go away. And that's your thorn. But they can also just be these inconveniences or things that didn't go well. For me, my washing machine stopped working last night. Not good. Just kind of a bummer, right? When the laundry stacks up and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do about that. The bud is going to be your emerging opportunity, something you're looking forward to. A lot of you might be educators and you're like, the end of school is coming. That could be a bud. And what is giving you motivation? What is just filling your soul with, okay, good things are to come. For me, I am planning a children's sermon for next Sunday, a week from tomorrow. Our little children's director got married, and I get to go step in to her space. So I'm very excited about doing that. I haven't done that kind of thing in a bit, so I'm pretty excited about that. And then the rose is that super spectacular, wonderful thing that you are so grateful for, or that is just filling your heart and giving you the push to say, okay, today was a better day than not, right? So what are those roses in your life, those really good things that you're embracing, the highlight? And for me, I have three nephews, my brother's boys, and the middle one is in college in Indiana, and he made our house his stopover until he went on down to Houston. And having him one on one without the rest of the people or rest of the family was just a special time. And he was a little out of the way by stopping here, but he embraced that, and it made me feel really good to just get to be Aunt Jenny for the night, and spoil him and that kind of thing. So that was definitely my highlight. So I'm gonna put on some music. I want to know, what can we celebrate together? What are those roses? Put those in the chat. The things that you're looking forward to, those buds. Let us just enjoy that for one another. And then we will also be able to hold space and, remind one another we're here for you during those challenges. And if you're so moved, you could take notes of some of those challenges that some of our folks share, and then just kind of think of them during the week. If you are a prayer, you could pray for them, or you could just send that good juju into the universe for them, because one very special thing about this community is that we've got each other's backs. So let me put some music on. I'll be back to check in on you in just a moment. That is a very old song called Rose Garden that says, "I beg your pardon, I've never promised you a rose garden." So it's an oldie. Katie recognized it. She recognized it from being with her grandparents. So I said, yes, it is an oldie indeed. Um, Good job working on this. That reflection of, what went well, what served you, what do you want to bring forward, what do you want to leave behind if you can, or just the power of putting it on paper and saying, okay, I'm leaving you there. That's pretty powerful. Thank you for working on that reflection. Let's dig into that weekly planner. We're going to be on pages 40 and 41 this week. And I've got a couple of examples just to share with you, pages that popped. Now, those of you who know me, I mentioned earlier, I'm not much of a sticker person, and I truly am a black pen on paper kind of gal. I don't spend a lot of time with colors and that kind of thing. So when you see these, if you are a black team black pen, that's great. Just we do ourselves in this journal. But these are very fun pages. If you ever find yourself needing to doodle, you can draw around your boxes, you can decorate, you can add colors and pops. But we're going to take a look at these two pages tonight and the different sections that are on these pages and how our fellow Silk and Sonder community uses some of these sections. And so while I'm sharing and talking about some of these spaces, if there are things that you do, please drop that in the chat because we do have some new friends with us this evening. And what you do, you may say, well, I do this every single week. Well, it might be new for them to learn, and it might be something that they would love to embrace as well. So we're going to go ahead and dig in and break this down. And the first thing we always want to ask ourselves is, how do we want to feel next week? You can do a word, a mantra, a phrase. Maybe you've got some fabulous stickers. Maybe there's one thing you need to focus on. And so that's going to guide that. A quote. Now, I have a whole bunch of, feelings. I'd love to know kind of, have you thought about what you want to feel next week? Drop that in the chat. Luann's already putting, I want to feel accomplished. Um, just calm, Nathania. Yes, school is school, right, Nathania? You want to feel calm, creative, joyful. You want to feel health and feel calmness. Want to feel rested, feel confident and calm. On fire. Kimberly K, you go get it, girl. Unburdened. Ooh, Carly, that one's pretty strong. That talk about taking a weight off of your chest. Kim's saying she wants to be brave. I'm going to go back to that, feeling strong through trust, healthy, authentic, motivated. You guys have some amazing words there. So the reason we claim a feeling is that will kind of help guide us for the rest of our setup. And if we have that in our head all week and remind ourselves, that's a good way to do our boundaries. If you are putting that you want to feel rested, then that helps you set personal boundaries as things come up in the week. Like, okay, I claimed rested for this week, and I'm being asked to go do 3 different things that will not feed into feeling rested. And so it can really help you identify and set those boundaries and hold those boundaries. So that's why we take time to identify a word of the week. They don't have to be different. They can go that it can be the same word every week. And if you have a word of the year, you might want to pop that in. So thank you all for dropping how you want to feel this week. Now we're going to take that feeling and look at those major 3 goals. That's that space that's right below there. And then the next door neighbor to that is your to-dos. Now, your goals are the whys, right? The do list is the how you get there. So the to-do list usually don't end. You mark things off, but as soon as you mark something off, you put something back on. But the goals that you set might end, right? They could get carried over, but eventually we hope that you reach that goal you're setting. So there's many ways to set this up. You can go take another look. I mentioned, checking with that currently page. Go look at your intentions. Go look at your habit tracker. Is there something on either one of those pages that can help you identify your goals for the week? Set your goals through that lens of trust and maybe really leaning into strength as you've sort of started chewing on that. look and see how have the last couple of weeks gone. Are there some undones that just need to be moved forward? Now, you don't have to set goals. If that's not speaking to you, it's okay to put a motivational sticker there, a quote. Maybe you have some list of three things, podcasts, movies, something you want to learn. And so, three topics. Maybe you put a little bingo board here of things for your week that your week is bringing. So it's really about making this work for you. So I love the idea of setting no goals. What are we going to take away? We're so good at putting more and more and more on our plate. But when we ask ourselves, what can I take away? What can I eliminate that's not serving me? We can create no goals and just really own those. So like no spending, no fast food, no negative self-talk, or that little don't, no screen time after bed, limit my caffeinated drinks for the day, don't check that social media. So are there some no things that you need to take away because it's those habits are not serving you? You could also frame your goals around one challenge for the week. So here's a couple of great examples for that. The word of the week was celebrate. So celebrate is what is going to kind of frame out the goals for the week. Celebrate health, celebrate family, celebrate vacationing, or a gratitude theme for the week. And then those three goals all help support that idea of gratitude. Or you can, lots of folks do this. I like to do this when I can't think of anything else. Just choose three categories and then plug your goals in based on those categories. So here are some great examples of what that looks like. And you'll notice the one that's on the left, number one is relax. And then the to do is going to support those goals. And so one of the things is try Pomodoro at work. I'm going to speak to the Pomodoro method in a little bit. Read more, scroll less. Definitely a good way to relax. So you can see those to dos directly correspond with that particular goal. Your to-do list can also just stand alone and be your list of all the things. All righty. And then here's again different ways to set that space up to speak to you. Love the circles. That's just kind of a fun way to put those three goals there. And you can have more than that. You can do four goals, like you see the one on the right, where there's read, write, move, work. So a little goal under each, or a little things. The to dos for each goal is in each one of those quadrants. So four things that they're wanting to focus on this week. Now, when we have those goals, if we are wanting to tie them into the to-dos, you can see some great examples here. Now, I want to point out, look at the one over on the upper right. I love goal number three things I'm proud of. And so that's going to kind of be a little bit of a mini tracker for the week, because that is a goal. I want to acknowledge the things that I am proud of myself for. I love that. Again, when we see our self-worth, it's much easier for us to see the worth of others. And then we've got how to make a to-do list. And I loved this graphic. You start by limiting your list to concrete tasks. So your goals are more of the ideas, but the tasks are definitely part of the to-dos. Assign a priority. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas for doing that. Plan time in your schedule, just like I asked you to schedule in time to go do that currently page. Group your tasks maybe by where they'll be performed. Is it a work Is it work? Is it home related? Is it errands? List only as many items as can be really realistically accomplished in a day, in a week. So set yourself up for success is basically that is what that is saying. And then cross them off as you do it so you can celebrate that. And then of course, like I said, to-dos are never done, right? So you start a new list. Now, one of the beautiful techniques that we have found that is great for your to-do list is to do a Pomodoro, the Pomodoro method. Pomodoro means tomato in Italian, and it's was inspired by the little tomato timers, the person who invented this. And what they do is they set 25-minute work sessions. And They'll do 4 of those, and they schedule in a 5-minute break. Or they do I'm sorry, they do one 20-minute session, 5-minute break, one 20-minute session, 5-minute break, and after they do 4 of those, they give themselves a good break in the day, like 20 minutes, a little coffee break. You keep doing that, you give yourself a lunch break, and, when you have your goals and your tasks, those to-dos tied to a time frame, you tend to work more efficiently, and Felicia says she's got one of those little timers. All right, don't donate it. Put it on your dresser for when you're cleaning your closet, Felicia. So a day in Pomodoros is a very good way to tackle that to-do list. Then we have also ways to divide that to-do list up like the main graphic said, maybe you do a need, want, and hope to do. There are some great examples from you all who have shared how that looks in your journal when you put that in there for real. There's that Eisenhower matrix that we love because it really does help us prioritize, keep the main things, not get bogged down into the things that can be put off or delegated. And I made a whole little list of words down there for the delete box because I've seen in Sonder Club that get changed up to not just delete, but maybe something to drop, maybe decline. So maybe it doesn't go away, but it kind of ebbs a little bit. Decrease, discontinue. And Katie said, in her world, nothing goes away. She just puts it in a delay list. So maybe you change that box up to work for you. And don't worry, I'm going to go back through all these slides while we work on these first 2 sections. Now, Silk and Sonder, again, we like to explore the things that we can eliminate or the things that we need to not do so that we can be the best version of ourselves. So here's what that can look like on your to-do list. And I love this one that says, don't do this, and then subbed in, do this instead. So very concrete, tied to a replacement activity to hold yourself accountable so that you don't end up mindless scrolling because you're already thinking, I'm going to replace that with doing something creative. And then I'm a big fan of the to-do list. I leave mine blank. I go back and put things in there. My to-do list goes on my daily spread. And so I like to write those things down because I just feel good about putting that there. And then maybe you need a be list, a to be list. How do you want to be this week? So I'm going to put on a song real quick while we work on these 2 sections, and I'll go back and forth between all these slides. So if you saw something that you liked, grab a screenshot or take a picture of it so you can refer back to it later. Also, this is being recorded and you'll be able to access any of these setups to take a look at those slides again if you miss something. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Let us know, how you're using these spaces this week. All right, good work on that's those 2 sections, our goals and our to-dos for the week. And so now that we have kind of that in mind, maybe there are some things that we can draw from in our goals and our to-dos and put them down in those habits and activities. And this is going to be a different section than the main activity and habit tracker at the front of your journal. We put this in here because every week is a different time period for us, right? And so this section can be changed up depending on what you have going on in your life. Now, you can totally go and get your intentions and get that habit tracker and plug some of those same things in here. One of my trackers, weekly trackers, always has me going back and checking on, did I do my gratitude log? Have I checked in with the monthly habit tracker? So it's kind of my double check. Well, and love the reminder of what are we going to eliminate? Again, not it that it's not working for us. That could be something that goes in this space. There's some suggestions from our Silk and Sonder Instagram page. If you're not following us on Instagram, you got to do that. Lots of different ways to set this up. You don't have to fill out every line here. You can just choose to do 3 habits, 1 habit, or put a big sticker on it and not do it at all. It really is what works for you. I want to point out, I've got that one up at the top circled, Night Walk with audiobook. That's that example of habit stacking. You take a habit that you're going to do and stack another habit on with it. And then that helps you establish maybe doing a new thing paired with an old thing that you're already doing. And you can set goals on how many times this week you want to do a certain thing or leave the goal part empty, and just track when those things happen. So, no right or wrong way. You can also circle days that certain things have to happen. I do that with a medication that I take. And then I have a whole bunch of habits, and activities for inspiration for this place. If you're like, I don't know what to put here, maybe some of these will spur some ideas. So let me put on a little bit of music and share in the chat. What are you tracking in this habit tracker? Or do you use the habit tracker for something different than a tracker? Okay, so we've got those habits and activities set. And Luann she's test driving a new habit this week. I love that. So Luann's probably going to put that, if it works, she'll have it in her activity space for a number of weeks until it becomes solidified. But she's putting tying a number to a decluttering habit to do. And I love that because that is a finite way of measurement of rewarding yourself. So good job, Luann. That's very inspirational for all of us. So now we're going to take a look at the next page. And this is the page that gets lots of repurposing. You are invited to use every space just as it is. Or I've got a ton of ideas from you guys to share with one another. So here's our meal plan, for example, and you can use it as a meal planner or a tracker. But this is also a space that gets a lot of repurposing. And I put in that box just a few of the ideas that I've seen from you all. And I will go through these slides and then we'll put on some music and I'll go back through so you can take a look and maybe grab a screenshot if something speaks to you. Here's a clothing tracker, a chores tracker, word of the day, a reflection space. Maybe your to-do list goes there. I love this one. It was new to me. A victory inventory. What are you celebrating about yourself? Love that. Want to speak a little bit about those water droplets. That's a way to track what your hydration levels are. But you can color code them according to what you're drinking. So you see that. But look at the one that's like all the way on the bottom corner there. This person is tracking, I feel calm. So just being intentional about noticing when they feel calm, maybe that's one of their intentions for the month with their emotional health. And so they're using those water droplets to take that moment to reflect. So don't forget to use those water droplets in a way that maybe will speak to you. The mind body health plan, oh my goodness, it gets changed up a lot. This is the one for me that is never the same. I do something different every week. You could do a weekly intention like you see on this graphic, and then the example that one of our Sonder family members actually employed in their journal. A self-esteem journal, answering just a little mini prompt every day. I actually did this in the past, and so that is my example of doing that in my mind body health space. Lots of different other things that can happen here. I always love the I am feeling, so that tells me what I need. And that's a great check-in first thing in the morning, so you know how to maybe set the pace for your day, but also a reflection at night of how, the day went and what does that tell me I need right now at this moment as I'm wrapping things up. How did I nourish my mind, body, soul? Maybe it's a cleaning list. Perhaps we're going to embrace the research from Martin Seligman on how to flourish, which we spoke a lot about this during the month of flourish, but it's a lot of science about, really embracing the feelings we get from the things that we have gratitude for. And so this person is going to kind of have this little space dedicated to that reflection every day. Also, we love the fun alliteration days. So there is a great slide for that. Perhaps you embrace a different type of rest, one per day, assigning yourself something to really take care of your needs in the rest area. And then we've got that shopping list, which is also a beautiful space for repurposing. You can use it as a shopping list. There's one divided up for groceries and then the things from the pharmacy. Love the one in the middle, a way to track your affirmations and your daily rituals to make sure that you're engaging with those things that just boost your experience with your journal. Perhaps you use it for daily rituals or your good morning routine, your good night routine. Love the ideas for mini breaks at work. What a great idea. Like, where you have a plan, so then it's going to happen. Doodles. I always keep this social check-in because I think it's very important to check in with your community. And so that shopping list, that repurpose is so inspiring to me. It can just be a quote, maybe something not fun, like when your bills are due. And then again, lots of folks love a bingo board. I always put a bingo board in my shopping list. I love that bingo board, but a packing list, again, chores, self-care, ways to take care of yourself, reminders for shopping, like no unnecessary spending or stay out of the dollar store. And then the final thing is, what are you loving right now at this very moment? Do that reflection based on your past week. What was the best part of your rose? I'm going to put on some music while you work on these sections. Let us know, what do you do? What's worked for you? What did you try maybe that didn't work for you? That you can give that advice to Sonder family. Be back to check in. We'll wrap things up. I've kept you after class. Our time together. It goes by so quickly. I wish I could burn, like, all the calories and stuff that quickly in an hour. I'm so glad that you were here today. Please share your weekly planner. If you do something special in a section that you haven't seen, you don't see anybody else do, take a picture of it, throw that in the Sonder Club so we can grab one of those shots and maybe you'll see it, shared in the slide deck. Be sure that you take note of these QR codes. They're very important. Now, you're going to get a follow up email, of course, to this social and any other social you attend with information about taking those feedback surveys. Be sure that if you have some feedback for times, days at work, what you'd like to see, that you take time to put that in there. And that way, headquarters will know what you would like to see as far as our social life goes. And then the Elevate Planner is the new planner that is getting ready to hit the presses. It's in pre-order stage right now, so grab yours. This is going to be kind of that second level of the Silk and Sonder journey. It'll be a great companion for your monthly journal. I want to thank you for joining Katie and myself this evening. We are set up. We're ready to face the new week. I wish you a great week filled with strength as you keep working on the best way to trust yourself and be the best version that you can be. I'll see you next time, Sonder fam. Thanks again for joining us.